Hey everyone, welcome back to OG Universe. Thank you so much for stopping by and taking a look at this video. It's going to be a fun one. It's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be all about Batman. Yes, Batman, one of the quintessential DC multiverse and DC superheroes. One of the most recognized superheroes probably in the world, next to Superman and Spider-Man and maybe the Hulk and Wolverine. But man, we've got a lot of DC multiverse Batman figures from Mcfarlane Toys, and these are just a handful of them. There's still more in package that I have not opened up, more in the basement, and more on the Great Wall of McFarlane figures behind us in the background. And I'm just happy to have a great assembled collection of Batman figures. And what we're going to do today is just take a look at some of my favorite Batman figures, kind of go through them, talk a little bit about them, and eventually, hopefully, we'll come to a conclusion on what's my version of the definitive Batman. Now, everyone's going to have their own opinions, everyone's going to have their preferences, but this will just be mine. And I'd love to hear your comments on what's your favorite Batman. So definitely hit the comments below. Let me know what's your favorite Batman. So let's get things started. And we'll take a look at some Batman figures. Yeah, we got some Batman figures. All right, let's go. Alright, so this here is my very first Batman figure I ever purchased. The Detective Comics 1000 Batman. It's supposed to look like Jim Lee's Batman, but it really doesn't. It's looking a lot like a little more realistic animated version of the Batman the Animated Series. That's how I see it in my collection. I really do like this figure. I mean, it's a G1. It's got a cool head sculpt. The body, yeah, the body has some issues with the articulation and abdominal region. The bat's a little too big, the arm's a little too skinny, the cape's a little too restrictive, and he's a little janky. But this was McFarlane's first attempt at Batman. And it's got some cool accessories. It has a grapple launcher with the spindle spinning out some bat cord. Looks pretty cool. This is a DC Direct stand that I put it on. Doesn't have any kind of wire bendy cape, but it's still a decent looking figure, and I do like it. Like I said, it definitely has that Batman the Animated Series vibes for it. For myself, I really do like it, but for a first attempt, not too bad for Batman. We also did get another version of the exact same figure, and this one is in the classic kind of 70s blue, and it's really nice as well. I picked this up at GameStop. It was about $23, and I remember it just came out of nowhere. I don't even remember seeing it advertising for it, no pre-orders, nothing. It just showed up, and I've only seen it once, and I'm glad I have it. Again, it's that really nice Batman. It's a great head sculpt. The logo's a little too big. Proportions are a little different, but it's a cool figure, and I'm glad he's part of my collection. All right, the next figure we got here is our first appearance Batman from Detective Comics 27. Now, this one, a lot of people hated it. A lot of people had issues with it, some QC issues. Their arm was breaking off right at the bicep, right at the cut there. Now, mine didn't have that issue, which I'm very grateful for. I was going to do some toy surgery and try and replace these gloves because I just don't like them. Not that the color, I don't like the color. The color's fine. They just look like sausages in casing, in purple casing. They could have done the cuff around the wrist to make them look a little better, maybe some sculpted details on it, 'cause it's just a painted hand. Not very good. I do like the belt. The logo is very small, but that's how it was in the original comic book first appearance. The head sculpt is absolutely awesome. The cloth wired cape is fantastic. This is definitely a very cool Batman to have in your collection, because this is the one that started everything. This is the first appearance Batman. Now, there is a Platinum Chase variant, which I do have, which has a bit of comic book blue shading on it. It's not too bad. I remember I got that one, I think, first before I got this, or at the same time. Can't remember. It was quite a while ago. But yeah, I'm happy with both of these figures. No QC problems. He's a good body buck as well. It's on that Hush body buck. So, you're getting some very beefy Batman for sure. And like I said, the head sculpt is absolutely awesome. If you want to put this guy in your maybe a retro version of the JSA, that would be kind of cool as well. So this one does have a lot of uses. And like I said, this cape is fantastic. So well done. Great use of the wire as well. It's nice and strong. And then you got all the segmentations on the back. That just look fantastic. Yeah, I'm really, really happy to have this one and the Platinum Chase in the collection. Great action figure. This is the first appearance Batman. Another Batman that I just love is this Silver Age Batman, this classic version of Batman. That beautiful blue, the black trunks with the blue shading on it, and the mask as well with the black trim. That looks fantastic. He's got a blue batarang. He is utilizing the Nightfall Batman body buck, which is a pretty damn good body buck, and it just suits the aesthetics on this Batman. I think a very big, bulky Batman might not be the best kind of visualization of this interpretation of Batman. Wouldn't be too bad. Alex Ross did a beautiful print of this kind of Silver Age Batman with Robin. That was pretty excellent, but Batman was huge. He was jacked, unbelievably jacked. But this one I think is really cool. And what's awesome as well, you do get Ace, the Bat Hound. And what's funny, this wasn't a collector's edition figure. It didn't cost you 40 bucks here in Canada. It only costed 25 bucks. And you got a little doggy. That's unposable, unfortunately. But he's a nice addition. And again, cloth wired cape, beautiful articulation. He's just a great aesthetically pleasing Batman. I absolutely love this Batman. The cape is just, man, it's awesome. And there goes my display stand. But it's got this nice sheen to it. It is a little starchy, but it looks great. And you can get into a lot of different poses, and it just adds that dynamic element to this Silver Age Batman. All right, now let's talk about our Flashpoint Batman. Now we have two versions. There's three actually, and an unmasked one of Thomas Wayne. Didn't come with an alternate masked head sculpt, but this one is from our Batman versus the Reverse Flash Professor Zoom 2-back, which is fantastic. And this is a great, I would say, an update, slight update, because he did get a new head sculpt, and he did get that Thomas Wayne head sculpt as well. But it's the same figure. That's this guy with a different head sculpt. This one, I would say, is the superior Batman masked head sculpt. He looks fantastic. A really cool figure. One of the initial releases from Mcfarlane Toys, and one of the last ones that have weapons as well, these guns, before that embargo. And we've been getting weapons spread out here and there. But, man, it did make sense for certain figures not to have guns, but this was a great figure for its time. Now, the biggest thing that plagued this guy is the ball joints. The ball joints in the ankles were pretty brutal. They were just very round, and I did some toy surgery to try and fix that on both of these guys. And man, it's just the way this figure is constructed. The ball joints are just very glaringly there. Not much you can do. I've tried with using the, the force of He-Man basically to try and get those ball pegs up there into the legs a bit better, but that's as far as they can go. But visually, if you don't look at the legs and the ankles, this is a damn awesome Batman to have in your collection. Thomas Wayne, he was a pretty big player in the comic books for quite some time. I think it's cooled off definitely with him, but his action figures are really spectacular, and I really do appreciate both of these guys. Now, it's kind of like pick your poison, which one you want. You know, this original one is quite a bit expensive on the secondary market. You can get this 2-pack with Reverse Flash, which is pretty damn cool. And you got a brand new head sculpt that looks quite nice. You get all the guns, you get the sword, the unmasked cowl, everything you got going on there. And this one, it's visually striking. That head sculpt is just so damn good. It looks so nice. But yeah, either one of these guys are definitely must-haves in your Batman collection, in my opinion. Definitely a great version of Thomas Wayne Batman. Will we see more? I doubt it. I really do doubt it. I don't think there's any plans for Thomas Wayne going on right now, but who knows what the future holds. But definitely get your hands on these guys before they get even more expensive in price. Alright, let's bring in the Noel Batman. Now, this guy's had two versions. His first release was a Page Punchers in a kind of olive greenish tone, which looked very odd. It was a pretty cool figure, though. This one, very nice. This is a Batman Noel version of Lee Bergemo's artwork. We got the cloth wired cape. Still starchy, still starchy. We do have, a batarang. We do have some binoculars fixed to his hand as well. They don't come out, but we got the gray tone. And this is a really nice looking Batman. The fact that the sculpted body armor looks just really damn good. The head sculpt, I believe it's almost the exact same. It's just a slight retooling, not much of a difference. But this is just a cool looking tactical Batman. This guy looks like, he's straight from the movies or a graphic novel, which he was actually, but he just has something about him that springs to life movie version. I could see this being a costume that we're going to see in the movies, maybe one day, maybe not. I would like to see this kind of Robert Pattinson upgraded into something like this. I think that would be very cool. It's very tactile. It's got a lot of buckles, a lot of armor plating, but man, it's a really impressive Batman figure to have in your collection. I know we got so many gray and black Batmans, but this one, it's unique, it's stylized, it's different. Now, there is a platinum chase of it, which I've never seen, never had the privilege of owning, that I believe is in gray and blue, or a lighter shade, or kind of a bluish shade. I'm pretty sure it's blue, but it comes with a birthday present, or a Christmas present, because it's from Batman Noel. Really would have liked to have gotten that one. Unfortunately, no luck finding. I've never seen it. But yeah, this one, definitely. If it's something that's to your liking, that gray and black kind of tactical armor, it kind of blurs the line of comic book and movie. This is definitely one of the best Batman figures to get. Batman Noel, absolutely spectacular. Here we got our Batman from Dark Knight's Metal. This was a very early release from Mcfarlane Toys as well in the early years, the G1 years of the DC Multiverse, and this is a cool figure. I was really impressed with Mcfarlane Toys doing a lot of comic book related stuff in that first year and a half. They really pumped out Death Metal and the Dark Knight's Metal series, and I really enjoyed all the different variants. Red Death is still one of the coolest versions of Flash Batman Hybrid, Devastator, Dawnbreaker, the Drowned, Murder Machine. There's a lot of cool figures, and of course the Batman Who Laughs. This one, now this Batman is kind of sporting that new 52 look a little bit, kind of pushed a little further. He has a lot of scrapes and cuts in the body armor. There is another release of this one, which I have. It's packed away in my basement, that had the purple inlay on the cape, and all the cuts were actually red. So I was kind of thinking about doing that myself, but hey, Mcfarlane beat me to it, and that's cool. Now he does have a different head sculpt. He is sporting the Three Jokers head sculpt, which I just like a lot better than this original head sculpt that was on there. Just didn't do it for me. I don't know. It's Greg Capullo styled artwork, but it just didn't have his flair and finesse to it. Wasn't one of my favorites, so I just swapped it out. Now this is one of those unique Batman head sculpts that it's one piece. The head is attached to the neck, and the neck attaches into a ball peg in the body. So doing toy surgery and customizing, you're kind of limited to what you get. We've only had a handful of Batman figures with this type of head sculpt configuration. I do prefer just the, ball peg, neck, pop the head off, do whichever you need to, but now you're kind of limited because you got to find a Batman that has a one solid piece neck and head sculpt. But this is a cool figure because, he's got these giant battle axes. You know the storyline. Oh, I know it quite well. Hopefully you've read it. It's pretty damn spectacular. I do like the kind of oomph this figure has. He's big, he's bulky, the cape is very windswept. The body proportions, I think his chest could be a little bit broader. It's very narrow waisted as well. I think if we broadened his chest a little bit more, I think it would have been one of the best Batman figures kind of out there. It's a really cool looking figure and something a little different, very comic book related, but it still kind of has a little, little whimsy to it, so to speak, with the battle axes, all the battle damage in his outfit. You can imagine him taking on, the Merciless, the Dawnbreaker, all those guys with these crazy battle axes, all the battle damage. It's really cool. And the slight toy surgery, very easy to do. Boil and pop, boom, you're good to go. And I think it improves the figure quite a bit. Very nice, very cool figure. All right, and next Batman we got here. This one here is our Manga Batman. This is a fun figure. I absolutely love this figure. I love the color. I love the zaniness of it. The Manga Batman, it's so cool. I love the head sculpt on it with all the detailing, the black, the color palette is really cool. And I've never seen a Batman with white kind of ribbing around his gauntlets, his boots. They look great. And it's using the Nightfall body buck. So you're getting a really well constructed body buck with some really good articulation. It's got the bright red batarang. This guy had a lot of gadgets specific to the Manga Batman as well. I just think this is a figure that was really kind of overlooked. Now, the Platinum Chase version, I believe, was black and white. So, not my favorite, to be honest with you. I've seen it a few times. Not really interested in purchasing that. I really like this one. The belt as well. You know, it's very cool. It's a really nice looking figure. Nice sculpted cape. It's a softer, pliable material, so it's not really weighed down by this cape, which is nice. We don't want that cape to topple the figure over all the time. But this figure, I don't know. I didn't see a lot of fan reception about it. I didn't see a lot of people going crazy about it, not people talking about it. And it's a shame because I really would have loved to have seen a Joker, kind of manga styled, Robin for sure. You know, some of the villains from the comic book series. Superman would have been kind of neat to see that. A giant robot or something in that vein would have been really appreciated. But alas, I don't think we'll see the Magnaverse or Mangaverse in the DC Multiverse again. I really don't think so. I don't know if the figure sold well because I've seen it a few times still at certain places in comic book stores. So I don't know, but I, as a fan of Batman, and I like a little bit of variation, right? You know, I want something a little different, not too zany. I'm not into all the rainbow colored Batmans and stuff like that. It just doesn't do it for me. But this is just a era in time that's captured perfectly in plastic. It looks so good, and this is somebody I would definitely want to have on my shelf, and I think is a very worthwhile addition to your collection. Here is our Justice League Task Force Batman. Man, that line. Whoa. Green Arrow. Or, excuse me, Aquaman, Flash, Superman, Batman. And the Build-A-Figure was Darkseid. On paper, that sounds absolutely incredible. It sounds like a surefire hit. You're going to sell a ton of them, Mcfarlane. But I don't think the reception to these figures was very positive. As you can see, they have some digitalization, some kind of 16-bit era aesthetics going on. Now, me personally, I love this series. I thought it was well done. I think it was a daring paint app opportunity to try something different, and I really appreciated the effort they took and the risk they took to make a very unique line of action figures. The Flash is definitely one of my favorites. You can barely tell all the digital pixelization on him. Aquaman has a really outrageous head sculpt, great colors, beautiful paint apps. Now, Superman was a bit more jarring. Definitely a bit more jarring with that really darker blue with all the light blue shading on it. It is a hit and miss for a lot of people. I appreciated it. I enjoyed it. And the Batman, it just feels a little different, a little, you know, almost higher quality with the paint apps. You do have the great cloth wired cape. That's starchy material, but it's a thicker material on this cape with a very strong wire. And this figure, at a distance, you can't really tell the Bat emblem is really pixelized and digitalized, but he just looks great. I love the darker gray. It definitely reminds me of like a 90s feel. And the blue is just a really nice, almost a metallic kind of blue. And man, the head sculpt looks great too. He's great in his teeth. He's action packed. He's looking to fight. And I love this Batman. This entire series was kind of really not well received by a lot of people. A lot of people just bought the Batman or Superman and used some acetone and got rid of all the highlights. People love the Flash but hated the head sculpt because of that bit of detailing, extra detailing they put on it with the 16-bit digitalization. But man, the Darkseid was the worst offender because he looked incredible in the darker blue, the gray. But man, he was a brick, and he felt like his arms were just gonna break right off when you tried to move them. Really disappointing with that. It's a beautiful figure. Just keep it on your shelf and just leave it alone. It's kind of like my best my best pro tip. If you have that Darkseid, don't play around with it too much because you don't want to break. But yeah, damn, it should have been one of the killer lines from Mcfarlane Toys in this little subgrouping and Build-A-Figure wave. And we haven't seen a Build-A-Figure wave in quite some time. But yeah, too bad. Very disappointing, but I appreciated it. I like the daring effect that they tried to do something different. And I'm really quite happy with these figures. I like the way they turned out. They look good on your shelf against other Batman figures. They look a little odd and they stand out a little bit. But still, I think there's something to be spoken about them. There's really something that's captured my imagination. and I do like these figures quite a bit. I definitely want to hear what your thoughts are on this version of Batman. Now, I'd love to hear your opinion on what's your favorite Batman. What do you think is the best definitive Batman in the DC Multiverse in your collection? Is it a movie version? Is it a comic book version? Is it a video game version? I'd love to hear it. Let me know in the comments below. And if you could, if you like the video, you like what you're doing, seeing so far, I'd always appreciate a sub. Definitely helps the channel out. And hit that bell notifications when I produce a new video. It'll go directly into your feed. All right, let's move on with our next Batman. All right, so we have our Batman Beyond, Terry McGinnis. Oh man, I absolutely loved Batman Beyond. I'm so happy to have this action figure. We have two different versions of this guy, one with a kind of traditional mouth and one with a faceplate. Man, it's just such a good body buck for this figure as well. It's a little thinner proportions, still muscular. The wings look great. They're a nice dark red. You got the batarang, you got these claw-like hands. It's just a really cool version of Batman. Now, I know Batman Beyond is not everyone's favorite. It's Batman Beyond, Terry McGinnis, not Bruce Wayne. But the way they set up the series and the animation, I thought it was just really well done. And then when they tied him into the Justice League Unlimited finale, man, that was some cool stuff as well. So, anyways, this is a great figure. Batman Beyond, if you're a fan of that animated series, comic book series, which was pretty damn cool as well, I think this is a no-brainer. You definitely want this one. There is a third version out there. Well, actually, there's a fourth version where he fights the Justice Lord Superman. Kind of like Justice Lord Superman. I believe he is Justice Lord Superman, actually, in Kryptonite. He has Kryptonite armor in green. That one's pretty damn cool as well. There's also a battle damage version of this guy, which has all this surgery kind of paneling out. And then there's a Neo Gotham version, which I don't like at all. Didn't like it, man. Not cool. But this one, the OG, you can't go wrong. Batman Beyond. Definitely a great one to have in the collection as well. All right, and here we go. We got the Nightfall Batman. Now, this is a figure that has been used multiple times to great effect. This first version, I don't know. I just didn't feel the hype for it. I don't know. I just didn't like the proportion, the jankiness of it. It was too small, too short, not muscular enough. But this figure has grown on me. After playing around with it quite a bit and seeing all the variations that they've made using this body puck, it's a pretty damn good body buck, and it's a pretty damn good Batman figure. We got a softer rubber pliable cape here with the batarang. He just looks good. The face sculpt, you know, it definitely has a 70s kind of 80s version. I really would love to have seen a Jim Aparo Batman. And this is kind of close to it, but I don't think we're going to see that version of Batman anytime soon. And this one does have a lot of interesting things. He was very stiff out of the package. I had to heat it up and boil and pop the head to get some articulation just because it was no articulation. Now, not too bad. You got some movement. You got a little side attitude going on, all that kind of good stuff. The torso articulation of the abdominal region is just really tight, and you don't have a lot of movement. There's an easy fix to that, guys, and we've seen it on our Batman versus Bane 2-pack. Now, the ball joint that's attached here, you just got to boil and pop the torso off. Get the little peg that's attached and just don't plug it up all the way. Keep it down a little bit, and that will give you another set of abdominals, and you'll get extra articulation in the abdominal region for your Batman. Yeah, simple little tip to do. I've done that quite a few times, and it works quite well. And yeah, this is the guy that started everything off with the Batman Nightfall body buck craze. Probably been used at least maybe 15, 20 times probably already. But it's still a really solid, really nice looking Batman. This one's pretty expensive as well in the secondary market. The original one, we've got a lot of different ones. The latest one we got, darker, excuse me, darker gray tone for the body. And we got a cloth wire cape, I believe. Haven't opened that figure up. It's just right above my finger right there. That guy right over there. We'll take a look at him in a moment, but yeah. Virtually the exact same Batman, just a color swap. And we've seen that color swaps done a million times, a lot of times, not just Mcfarlane, but for everybody. Every toy company does that. Got to get the most out of your molds. But this is a cool Batman, a very nice one. I don't think you need to have the original one, this Nightfall one. and spend all that money on it. I think you could just get some of the variants and you'd be pretty happy with that. If you're a die-hard collector and you have to have all of them, yep, go for it. But one thing I like about this one, you have the sculpted logo. I absolutely love the sculpted logos instead of just a stamped on deco. That makes this figure to me special. And this is the original one, so hey, there's something cool about that too. Let's take a look at the one that we have in the packaging, and that is the digital wave version of Batman from No Man's Land. And here he is. Now, I never opened this because basically I know what the figure is, right? You got the same figure. He's got a different belt, darker tone for the gray. And I believe it's a cloth wired cape, or definitely a cloth cape. So that's nice. You got the fist, batarangs. There you go. Digital code as well. Batman's No Man's Land. Some pretty nice artwork as well. But yeah, this is a cool figure as well. I mean, if you don't have that original, this one would be pretty nice as well. But it looks like the logo is just stamped on, not a raised, sculpted emblem. It's a little disappointing. But there you go. That's your alternative for that kind of expensive Nightfall Batman. And continuing on with that Nightfall body buck, we got our Dick Grayson as Batman. I like this figure a lot. The Platinum Chase, I wish I'd had that because that's even cooler. It's in a blue and gray motif, and it looks awesome. I love this Nightfall body buck for Dick Grayson. It works perfectly. For Batman, kind of a hit and miss sometimes. I really prefer the bulkier Batman. But for Dick Grayson's aesthetics, this works perfectly. Now, one thing I absolutely love is the knuckle dusters, the electro knuckle dusters. Yeah, you can swap those hands out and put these guys in. These beating up villains. That is just awesome. Cloth wired cape as well. Starchy. You can hear that. But it gives you that extra range of mobility and posability and articulation and stylization. So that's really good. The belt is unique to this guy as well. The gloves, they're shorter gauntlets and scalpels, I guess, compared to the original Batman. So I like this one and that face sculpt, Frank Quietly. Yeah, it's trying to represent that Frank Quietly artwork, which was, well represented in that comic book series of Batman and Robin. Man, that was so damn good. It was a really good take. I highly recommend it. Find the trades, find the originals. Batman and Robin, Grant Morrison, Frank Quietly. This is a great looking Batman as well. Doesn't have the sculpted logo, it's just stamped on, but there's a lot of good things to like about this version of Batman. Now, there was one point in time when Dick Grayson was Batman. He was actually part of the Justice League as well with Supergirl. I think that'd be a cool variation, a team to build as well. Some characters we're not going to get, like the Ape Guy and Starman. I don't think those versions we're going to get, so fat chance, but you could build your own team. And what if Dick Grayson took over the Titans? That'd be kind of interesting as well as Batman. Interesting. But yeah, this is a great figure. I think, again, this is a figure if you didn't want to spend out the cash for the original Nightfall, this would be a great supplement to that, among with many others. But this one just has something unique about it, and he goes extremely well with the Page Punchers, Damian Wayne. That was kind of sculpted and detailed in the Frank Quietly artwork as well. So very cool to have this guy in the collection for sure. And then we got this big bad bruiser. So this is the Dark Knight Return Batman, the battle damage. One of my favorites. This is such a cool version of Batman. They did such a good job on it. So many good things to like about this figure. The color scheme, it looks great. I like the blue. The blue and the gray look fantastic. The big chunky logo, the articulation, the stylizing as well. Just the cloth, it's all wrinkled, the fabric, the tears. These you could probably get rid of with some acetone if you didn't want to have monks. They're not sculpted, they're just painted on. One thing I didn't like about this figure, you gotta do a little bit of toy surgery. You gotta do some painting because this hand with the batarangs was all one color. So I individually painted the batarangs black. Still kind of toying with doing some dry brushing on it, but I think it looks good just the way it is. Much better than just being casted in the blue, just like the hand. You got the rope here as well. I like that. It's just simple. And one of the coolest things was you got the old man Bruce Wayne head, which is just really nice. Kind of has that Frank Miller look to it as well. Sometimes Frank Miller's artwork doesn't translate into action figures very well. The Superman from this series is one of the ugliest head sculpts I've ever seen, but this one is damn nice. He looks awesome. Definitely a cool figure to have. You also got a different version that was about $40 here in Canada that had him in almost a black in a dark, dark, dark gray, kind of represent that lightning bolt cover of the Batman from Dark Knight Rises, where he's leaping across the moon. Didn't like it. It just, what's the point of that, in my opinion? I mean, you got this one, you got the original one in black. Both are really nice. Don't think I needed one that just kind of silhouette of a cover. Not for me. If you like it, great. I'm glad you enjoy it. But yeah, I passed on that one. This one, fantastic. Again, he's very stylized, so he's not going to be everyone's favorite because maybe some people never read Dark Knight or even alive when Dark Knight came out and just haven't had the opportunity to read it. But it's something I think people need to see. You can see it in the DVD animated or Blu-ray movie from DC Animated. That was really damn good. Two-part series. And this one, this is just a cool figure. I think if you didn't read the comic, didn't watch the DVD, Blu-ray, man, just get the figure because it is just a great addition to your collection and a great looking Batman. So damn cool. We're getting really close to some of our definitive Batmans, but this is a definitive Batman for a certain time and point in comic book history. One of the greatest kind of revamps for Batman. The grim and gritty heroes from the 80s, 90s, and it set the tone for Batman for a long time. And yeah, it's just a really standout figure. Definitely, I think this is one that collectors of DC Multiverse, Batman, would just want to have on their shelf because it's just so well done. All right, and again, back to that Nightfall body. Here we go. So this guy is Batman versus Bane, that amazing two-pack with that incredible looking remodeled Bane with a bit of the comic book highlights and shading. And we got this Batman, which is definitely a cool version of the Nightfall body buck. I mean, it looks spectacular. Yeah, it's battle damaged. You can get rid of that very easy with some acetone. It's not sculpted in. The face, man, the face, it's battle hardened. This is survival mode Batman's what I call it. He is fighting for his life. I just love the color scheme on this guy. The blue is fantastic. The gray is a perfect shade. The yellow as well. And the cape, it's cloth wired cape, but I think this is one of the most premium capes Mcfarlane Toys has produced. Cloth wired cape, beautiful fabric. The black on the inside, it's taken to a whole nother level. Strong wires as well. Man, this is just such a great looking Batman. And a lot of people missed out on that Bane figure, like I did. And this was an awesome opportunity to get Bane and an awesome looking Batman. I am very pleased. Bane was definitely one of the top figures from 2024. Definitely. He was fantastic as well as this figure. It's still available on Amazon, I believe, at the time of this recording. I believe there was about $100, $109 maybe. But man, pick it up. It is so worth it. Again, excellent use of the Nightfall body buck. And what they did on this guy, we talked about it when we talked about Nightfall. They raised the pin so he has more abdominal articulation, so you can do the back break that Bane does. And man, this is just, I don't know. It's one of my absolute favorite Batmans for a battle damage version, which I usually don't care for that much. This, it looks awesome, and I think it's cool to have in your collection that Batman's just run the gambit and has fought everybody. It's down to Bane, and it's survival mode Batman. Very cool. Now, this Batarang, I did do some customizing, so it was just one solid color. Added the silver onto it just to give it a little more definition, a little bit of gold. It turned out really well, so I'm happy about that. So it's a custom, one of a kind in my collection, but yeah, this is an awesome figure, and a definite must-have in your collection, guys. You got to have that Bane as well. If you missed out on the first solo release, this is the perfect opportunity, and you got to have this one in the collection. All right, let's jump back into some of the movies. Yes, the DC Batman movies. Let's take a look at some of them. One figure here, man, the Batman Begins Batman, Christian Bale. Holy crap. This is an awesome figure. I can't express how much I love the way this guy looks. He doesn't feel or look like a McFarlane figure. The way he's sculpted, the way he's detailed and painted, it feels like some sort of larger scale import figure, not some 5-inch or 6-inch Mayfix figure. These are just extremely well done. The copperish gold looks fantastic. The grapple launcher, the batarangs in his head looks so good. The head sculpt is just, it's Christian Bale. You know, the stylization on the body buck is fantastic. The cloth wired cape, another great touch. It's a little, I almost feel a little too thin for the cape. I think the cloth material should have been a little thicker. But overall, I absolutely love the black, glossy black that clashes, well, kind of clashes with the matte black. It just looks cool. I love that kind of stuff. I don't like one uniform black, same tone. This looks fantastic, and I'm so happy I got this guy. Now, it has been very tough to get the Batman Returns figures here in Canada. These guys sold out at EB Games on the pre-order within probably minutes, and it has not been restocked. I've been checking almost every day, and it's been beyond belief frustrating because the Catwoman, Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman, is going for over $170 in pre-orders on eBay, which is absolutely ridiculous. Am I ever going to get those figures? I seriously doubt it because they're not going to be easy to get, and they're not going to be cheap. So if I can find a Batman, I would love to get the Batman. It's the only one I really want. But we'll see. Hopefully I'll strike gold and find one. But man, again, this, for certain people, not your Batman. Christian Bale's my Batman's Michael Keaton. Or maybe Robert Pattinson. But for me, I think for the movie versions, this was one of my absolute favorites. Figure-wise, out of all the movie figures we've gotten so far, I think this is my absolute favorite. It dethrones my Val Kilmer Batman from Batman Forever, which was my top 2024 figure from Mcfarlane Toys. It was one of the greatest figures, and I still love that figure. But this one, I think, just takes the cake. He's just so damn good. And then you also get the Batarang as well, so it's a nice touch. Great addition. Just a really well done figure. And I think this is highly, highly, highly on my top 10 list for this year. And yeah, he is absolutely incredible. Definitely a must have. And then we got from the Dark Knight. Now, this one was cool. This is the Hong Kong Skydive edition of Batman. Now, it had a Bruce Wayne head, which was just not cool. I didn't like it at all. Swapped it up with a Arkham Knight Batman, and we got a real heavy tactical Batman, which just looks so cool. The aesthetics on this figure are absolutely incredible. The sculpted details, the body armor placing, it's fantastic. I really don't see anything wrong with this figure. The articulation's good. Especially with this new head sculpt, excuse me, it looks fantastic. Now, he doesn't have a cape, but I'm okay with that, actually. He doesn't need a cape. The Skydive Batman, he's got a parachute, it's even better. But he is just phenomenal. I gave him the Arkham Knight Batarang as well. Man, he's just so good. One of my absolute favorites, and this is simple, easy, boil and pop. That's it. And you got a new Batman that really fits in well with the movieverse, comic book universe, and this head sculpt from Arkham Knight. It just suits the body box so well with the extra kind of little tech additions to the sculpt, the panel lines, everything else. Man, it's just so damn nice and very easy to do. We did a lot of toy surgery on some figures, but man, this I think is one of my absolute favorites and really easy to do, and a great addition to the Dark Knight trilogy lineup of action figures that we've gotten in the movieverse of Batman from Mcfarlane Toys. And then we got our top figure of 2024, the Val Kilmer Batman from Batman Forever. I love this one too. I loved how they kind of reverse things here. We got a matte finish on the boots and the gloves and a glossy blue. On the body, it just looks fantastic. And the head sculpt, it's one of the best. It captures Val Kilmer to a T. Now, it doesn't have a wired cape, but it's a cloth cape, which is nice. And it comes with some accessories, which is really nice because the Bat figures from the movies haven't really come with accessories, which is kind of annoying. It has a lot of gadgets. And this one, man, is just a fantastic figure. If they made another version with a cloth wired cape, man, that'd be perfection. I don't think you can go wrong. But this one, it is damn good. And I'm really happy to have this in the collection. That entire line from Batman Forever was so good with the Riddler, Robin, Two-Face. So damn good. And it's a shame that everybody didn't get a chance to own these figures, because I know they're pretty difficult to come by. But hopefully, if you wanted one, you're able to get one. And yeah, this is a great, great figure. One of the best versions of Batman from the movies. And it even blends into the Bat kind of comic book universe in my collection as well. One of my highest recommendations, hunt this figure down. You're not going to be disappointed. He is absolutely incredible. And it's Val Kilmer, so rest in peace, Val Kilmer. So this here is our digital wave of figures that we got Batman here. Now, what I really like about this Batman is the blue. This is kind of like a Justice League Batman to me. You know, I don't see Justice League Batman in black. I don't see Justice League Batman in a black and gray. I see more of him in blue and gray and a lighter shade of gray, blue and gray as well. But this one is just a great looking figure. It's got a really nice head sculpt, very reminiscent of David Finch artwork. The body buck, man, the body buck's the only thing that's kind of holding it back. The arms are very skinny, very spindly. You know, it's just, man, he's leg day every day, arm day, like, not much. It's just really thin. I've toyed around with trying to do some toy surgery, replacing the arms, the biceps, but man, I just haven't found any kind of arms that really suited to my liking. And then I'm gonna have to boil and pop on the pins here to get these forearms out. And that's something I really don't want to do because just in case I screw up, I don't want to ruin an action figure, especially one I like. But I'm just gonna stick with it as the way it is. Now, what's really cool, you do have a great, or excuse me, a gold grapple launcher, which is true to the comics. He did have a gold one, but you also got a Batarang, which isn't too bad. It's kind of thick, but what I really liked is the Bruce Wayne head sculpt. It's a really nice head sculpt. That's versatile. I've used it with my Thomas Wayne. I've used it on some other figures as well, my Adam West. So he has some legs on him, so to speak. It can be used for different figures, and you got a really nice looking unmasked head sculpt. There is another version of this exact same figure that is being released here in Canada very soon. The price tag is $39, which is just like, what? It's the exact same figure. I believe it has a purple inlay on a cloth cape. I don't know if it's wired, but man, I don't know. It just didn't do it for me at the price tag, and I enjoy this figure to a point. But again, the arms are just way too thin and just not to my liking. It's a cool figure. Is my Justice League kind of stylized Batman, but man, it just didn't hit all the marks. So it's a figure that I would say tread cautiously if you want it. I wouldn't pay too much for it, for sure. The best part of this figure, besides the blue, is this head sculpt. So there you go. If you want it, go for it. Just be careful on the price. I wouldn't pay too much for this guy. So now we're getting down to our kind of are kind of my favorites. So a lot of these are customs, but there's one in particular that I just love, and I think it's part of my favorite Batman. So let's take a look at this one. This one is definitely kind of a tribute to our Kenner Batman, the '89 Batman. I think this is what it's kind of a tribute to. He does have a different head sculpt on there from the original, I believe. He's got the Three Jokers head sculpt. I mean, it looks pretty cool. I did have the Jim Lee Hush open mouth Batman on this for the longest time, but I've used that for another figure. I didn't like this figure at first. I really didn't. It's just too plain. But it's grown on me. The body buck is good. You know, the yellow, the black, yeah, it's all right. I don't mind it. It's just not my favorite version of Batman and its color scheme, but it pays tribute to that version of Batman which I don't have, and hopefully will get one day, either from the Batman or Batman Returns. But for now, this is okay. And basically, I had to get this one to build my Plastic Man Build-A-Figure, which is one of my absolute favorite figures. He's so well done and so so well worth the price of admission to buy this guy to get the Build-A-Figure pieces. So there you go. Kind of a basic Batman, kind of boring, but you must have to get that Plastic Man built. All right, here we go. So this figure is a love-hate relationship I have. So this is the body buck from the Spawn Batman '96 figure. It was a Platinum Chase, so it wasn't readily available. You had to get it. You saw it in store. That's pretty much it. Now this figure, I love the color scheme. It's fantastic. That gray, the blue looks great. I love the cape, the way it has the points, but I also hate this cape with a passion. It's thick. It's cumbersome. It weighs a ton, and it makes the figure fall all the time. If you have him on a stand, he falls. I've strengthened up his ankles. As you can see, his ankle's a little smushed up here. I've strengthened his ankles and put a bit of clear nail polish on it to strengthen it, to give it better friction. Still topples over. So I'm thinking of seriously doing toy surgery and just getting rid of this massive cape. It just feels like it's just way, way too thick. I don't know what they were thinking. And why couldn't they just use this top part, right? And then from underneath, cloth white cape. That's what I'm thinking of doing because I do like the little points here and the little fabric bunch up on the shoulders. I did swap out the head. I'm going to try and find a paint that's suitable for it that matches up with this blue. This is the Hush 2-pack, kind of screaming head Batman from Jim Lee. I do like it a lot. It looks really good on this figure. Sculpted raised logo. Color scheme is great. The body block is awesome. It's damn near perfect Batman except for this god awful cape. Absolutely terrible. But aesthetically, if you just look at it, it's on your shelf propped up against the wall or something, it looks damn good. And it's striking because this is pretty much one of the definitive Batmans. Just got to paint that head up, and I think we're good to go with one of the best versions of Batman in the DC Multiverse collection. Can't believe I just said that because I hate the cape so much, but I think even with the cape or with some toy surgery, is still a standout Batman. I think that would be really striking to have in your collection, 100%. So this one here is another kind of tribute to the Kenner action figure series. I mean, I believe it was like a Sonar Batman or something like that. He had a gray and black tone, but maybe gray and blue, but he had this kind of padding. Well, this is as close as I would ever get to something like that. It has a nice wash on it. This is the Ben Affleck Batman, I believe from Batman versus Superman. Didn't like the head sculpt, so I put the Michael Keaton head sculpt on there from the Flash movie, and I just like the way this looks. This could be like the kind of evolution of Batman. If he would have continued being Batman in the movies, maybe we would have got this color scheme and this costume. But man, it's a really nice figure. He doesn't have the wire in the cloth cape, but you have a lot of real estate, and it's a pretty big cape. If I could just unfold it. So yeah, it's really nice. It drapes over the figure extremely well. The Bat logo looks really good. The grapple launcher a little too big, but man, it's just a fun figure. And I love having it in my collection and just playing around with it and putting action poses and stuff like that. And the Michael Keaton head sculpt is so good as well. It's striking, man. It's paying tribute to a bunch of action figures that I think I had as a kid. I can't really remember. I think they were hand-me-downs, but man, this figure just stands out and pulls on the heartstrings, but it's just good quality as well. And definitely an easy toy surgery custom to do. Just do a hit, swap, boil and pop, boom, you're good to go, and you're off to the races. And yeah, this is just a damn nice figure. One of the coolest Batmans. Definitely a movie-style version, but it could also fit into maybe even a Justice League. I know I said I like the blue and kind of gray, but this could fit into like a movie Justice League team as well. I think that would be really striking and very cool to have on your shelf. Awesome Batman. I'm going to bring him in for one more shot here with his arm down. It kind of reminds me of the Arkham Asylum. You know, the promotional images where Batman's kind of at his side and you got the cape on one side. Kind of reminds me of that. But man, this is definitely one of my actually favorite top 3 or 4 or 5 Batmans. It's so damn good. Definitely make it, if you have the ambition to try some toy surgery and play around with your toys and kind of, you know, make your own version. This is one version I would definitely try and do for sure. So this one here is probably as close as I get to a Michael Keaton stylized Batman, but I want to do something a little different. So I used that Michael Keaton head sculpt to go into that Batman vs Superman body block, but this one, man, this is an easy custom to do as well. So his body block is all black. Even the belt was black. So I painted that like a kind of copperish, dull gold. Swapped out the head for an Arkham, I believe it's Arkham City 2.0 version. And it's just such a great head sculpt. And it, again, pays tribute to the Kenner line of action figures. Now, the accessories are really tiny. I gotta say, they're so small, but they're okay. I was thinking about repainting them into that brush gold as well, so I might do that. But something about this figure, it's just simple. It's in the black. It's in the kind of classic Michael Keaton look. Sculpted raised logo. Great articulation all around on this figure. The cape doesn't have the wire, but it's just a nice quality cape, and it feels like it has a bit of an edge here, which is really nice. And you see all the lines, segmentations in the cape. Looks great. Just an awesome looking figure. Super easy to do the head swap, boil, and pop. And I got pretty much one of my favorite Batmans here from my childhood. Gotta have that classic kind of all black, but just a little bit touched of something different to make it stand out. Way more than that Justice League Plastic Man version of Batman in the black and yellow. This one is definitely probably like, I'd probably say my third favorite Batman figure that I own. Absolutely awesome. Love it so much. We got three Batmans here. Now we got Batman from Death Metal on his Bat Cycle. I really do like it, but it's not definitive. I don't even know if I would count that as one of these because it's really not a definitive Batman. It's a definitive Batman from that storyline for sure. I absolutely love it on the motorcycle. And it's just a cool piece to have because he's a Black Lantern as well, which makes him even cooler. But these two guys here, we got our Hush Batman, and we got kind of a mishmash of our, oh, what's that dude's name? It escaped me. Oh my God. Hugo Strange, holy, I had a short circuit there, guys. Sorry about that. So Hugo Strange. Now, I wanted to make a custom of an Adam West 66 Batman that was a little more comic proportionate because he was really kind of scrawny looking, not very muscular. And I thought that body buck has the great color scheme. Just do a head swap, but it was that neck and head one piece system that they used, which just totally messed up my ideas. So I had a pivot and I got this other idea, and I think it turned out pretty good. So this is my interpretation of a kind of 1966 Batman Adam West style. It was a bit more muscular and comic book stylized. So this is the head sculpt from the Spawn Batman 1996 figure. I absolutely love this head sculpt. It's zany. It doesn't look like a Batman. It looks like, well, it looks like more of a Batman, really, with these ears that are like this. And it's just suitable with this emblem, the cloth wired cape, the color scheme. I absolutely love this Batman. It's just, I don't know. There's something about it that just, it hits everything I was looking for in 1966 Batman. Batman 1966, probably one of my first kind of introductions to Batman. I remember watching it with my family in reruns, I think on Saturday or Sunday night. And man, it's been off, it was off the air for like probably like 20 years at least, 20, 25 years, but it was still kind of in syndication. And we had it, and I loved it. And it was just so cool. But this is as close as I can get to a 1966 style Batman. It's a little goofy, a little zany. A Bat emblem is a little different, but man, I just love the way this figure turned out. The cloth wired cape again adds such dynamic posability to him, just gives him a really cool look. And this is definitely my second favorite Batman in the action figure collection I have from DC Multiverse, Mcfarlane Toys. Super easy to do if you can find this figure. I think the Hugo Strange was a platinum chase as well, a red platinum maybe, I can't remember. So it wasn't the easiest to find, but worthwhile to do this custom. He looks great. I enjoyed it a lot. And it's definitely one of my absolute favorite versions of Batman. All right, so as you can see, the number one is right in front of us. So our number one, this is my definitive Batman in my action figure collection. Jim Lee's one of my favorite artists. He's probably my top three. I think this rendition of Batman captures his look to a T. It is unbelievably spectacular. He has such a great look. The color scheme, the palette, the artistic interpretation is nailed. Man, I think this is my absolute favorite Batman. We got two, well, actually, we got a lot of versions of this one. We got this one in a black and gray color scheme. We got this one in a darker blue color scheme as well with the Bat Raptor. It's supposed to be the Batman Who Laughs, kind of the start of his madness with red lenses. I kind of figured that red lenses would be for piloting the Bat Raptor, maybe giving him some sonar or something like that. But man, this is just an absolute spectacular figure. One of the best. The Hush Batman, hands down, is my definitive Batman in my collection. And there's so many good figures in the DC multiverse that you are really kind of overwhelmed with tons of different versions of Batman. And it's basically up to your preference, what your artistic style is. If you want a more comic book, you want a more movie accurate, anime accurate. I think there's so many different Batmans for everyone from the DC multiverse. But for me personally, this is my number one. And I'd love to hear your comments. who's your number one. We got a lot more in the background as well. So we have the black version, the black and gray one, which is really nice as well. But I never opened it because I got this one and I'm totally happy with this guy. He's my definitive Batman. Hush is one of my favorite comic book series within a series. And yeah, I'm really happy to have this Batman on the shelf. So this is number one. I'd love to hear your thoughts, your comments. Who's your number one Batman? I want to hear. Let me know. And guys, thank you so much for watching this video. It was a bit of a long one, but had to get this off my chest and had to get that definitive Batman out there. We did do a definitive Superman one as well. It's on the DC Multiverse playlist, but I've kind of updated it. I've made a new definitive Superman, so I'm going to do a video on that as well. Probably be a short, but definitely stay tuned for that. And thank you so much for watching, guys. Love you all, and we'll see you soon in the next one. Take care.